So we're out here and I've got them bagged. I got to tag them, put them in the truck, but they're harvesting this field at the same time. There he goes. And this makes it 1,000,000 times easier for me to get those bags, get them back into the truck and get out of here. So the results soon to come, but yeah, this is our third planter variability check we're doing. Second one for this particular farmer. We're going to see what kind of results we can find. And there it is, 24 rows, bagged and tagged. This should be a pretty good sample of what we're doing, because even though this is kind of a convoluted farm, but you're dead in the middle of it. Another semi rolling in. These guys rock and roll. We'll see what it says. One thing we want to talk about before we talk about all these ears laying on the ground is some of our data. Now, 24 rows. What I really liked about this variability check was the second variability check we did was the same planter, but it was not perfect. Number one, I couldn't find row 1. And me and my buddy walked up and down and up and down and up and down. We could not find row 1. And I'm like, you know what? Something's better than nothing. Let's start picking ears and we'll just get these on the ground and check them. We got 12 out of the 24 rows done and I had to leave. Came back, got 6 more rows. Great. Had to leave. Came back. Farm was harvested. So I got 18 out of 24. I'm like, okay. We bagged them, tagged them, weighed them, did the math, laid them on the floor. More variability than I wanted to see. I was very uneasy with it. And honestly, it looked like when I was out there picking the ears, like that closing system was dragging those seeds, because there was some spacing issues that I hadn't seen before. I talked to the farmer, I showed him the video of the ears laid out on the ground. He was not satisfied. He's like, something's up. He goes, can you please go do another planter variability check? I said, I don't want to. He's like, tell you what, we're over in your area. We'll cut a swath there and get the headlands off so that you don't have to drag 24 bags of corn through 120 or more foot of headlands. I'm like, now you're talking, I'll do that. So met him out there, got this one done, found row 1, no doubt about it. Went in, not too much further on that one, being that they already picked the headlands off, and measured 17 feet 5 inches, started bagging and tagging them, got them in here, weighed and measured them. So with that, our plot average was 282, which is really respectable. That's a really awesome yield for the Illinois-Wisconsin state line. Now the bad news is our high row was 332. Our low row was 240. That's almost a 90 bushel or more variance from the highest to the lowest. That's not good. That's not what we like to see. However, and I'm going to show you our fancy graphics department here. That's each row, 1 through 24, graphed out. I'd say 95% of the rows were within 5% or less of that 282 plot average. Okay, so that means of that 282 plot average, you're within 14 bushels of that, you're within 5% of your average. And most all of the rows did that. This is, without question, one of the best planter variability checks that I've ever done. So, okay, as we look at this 24 rows of our planter variability check laid out on the ground, keep in mind a couple things, and we'll get down in the nitty-gritty on this in a second, but when I started with precision planting, 15 some years ago, they used to talk about, hey, if we plant 34,000 seeds, we want 34,000 plants, right? Then that kind of evolved into, well, we want 34,000 ears. Then that evolved into, we want 34,000 harvestable ears. We don't want beer cans or nubbins. We want big harvestable ears. And that evolved into, we want our emergence within so many days, and that has evolved into, we want emergence within so many GDUs. And how can we use either the planter that you have and make the best of it, or how can we add tools to give you a little bit more control? in an environment you don't have control of. And this is what a 24-row planter variability check looks like laid out on the ground. We're going to get in a little closer and look at these yields. So 262, 278, and we'll move on right on down the line. I think that's our low, 240. As you can see, you're just low on ears. They're good harvestable ears. 332, I believe that was our number one. And that's just a whole bunch of good, old-fashioned, harvestable ears. But as you can see, we're staying pretty close to our 282 average. We're within some percentage points as we roll along. Now, normally, I don't like to talk about the technology of each individual planter and what is and isn't attainable, but I could tell you with this one, this was at least 8 miles an hour, if not 9.5 in a planter speed. They get after it, but that's just outstanding. So from this evaluation of this part of the one field, yep, it's a small, minute snapshot of one part of one field, but this is an A+. I really don't know how you'd come back and do better. So again, like I said, without data, you're just a person with an opinion. If you're talking about your corn planter and how are we going to get better, your yield is important, I understand, but there's been plenty of times where I've taken a planter variability check and the yield was good, but it was a disaster for consistency row to row to row. For this one, the planter did its job and kept that yield consistent to the average and made the most out of everything they're trying to accomplish. And if anything, I've talked to the farmer about this, what we've learned is we can probably pull back the population a little bit on this hybrid and let it flex. And less money per acre per seed and keep that same yield average. So with that, yeah, as always, guys, you got questions? How do I do this? What do you think? What have you seen? 309-208-0117. And hey, thanks for watching.